Stranded with the Rancher by Janice Maynard. Narrated by Emily Durante. Chapter 1. Drew Farrell glanced at the sky. Storm clouds roiled and twisted, setting his mood on edge. He shoved the truck's gear shift into park, jammed his Stetson on his head, and strode across the road. Dust billowed with each angry step, coating his hand-tooled cowboy boots. Deliberately, he crossed the line that separated his property from his neighbor's, Beth Andrews, his beautiful, long-legged, sexy-as-hell neighbor. After 2 years of butting heads with her at regular intervals, you'd think he would be immune to her considerable physical appeal. But no, her naturally curly blonde hair and green eyes hit his libido at a weak spot. Sadly, there was no 12-step program for men wanting women who drove them nuts. He approached Beth's organic produce stand and ground his teeth when he saw she had multiple customers waiting. Cooling his heels, jaw clenched, he courted patience. But he wanted to lambaste her with righteous indignation while his temper was hot. Like every day recently, at least a dozen cars had parked haphazardly up and down the private lane, causing congestion and spooking Drew's prize-winning thoroughbreds in the adjoining pasture. This morning, his men had been forced to move 7 horses to a grassy field on the opposite side of his property, for no other reason than because Beth had started selling pumpkins. Pumpkins, for God's sake. The traffic she had created during the summer, selling squash and tomatoes and a dozen other vegetables, had increased tenfold since she'd put up signs all over Royal advertising fall harvest decorations. At least during the summer months, the crowd was spread out. But come October 1st, it was as if everyone within a 50-mile radius of Drew's ranch had decided they had to buy one of Beth's fat, healthy pumpkins for their porches. As Drew waited impatiently, several of the patrons loaded up their purchases and drove away. Finally, only one woman remained, a young blonde, very pregnant. From what Drew could tell, she had picked out the largest pumpkin she could find. Beth and the customer squatted to lift the pumpkin from its perch on a bale of hay. The big orange orb slipped out of their hands, nearly rolling onto their feet. Oh, good grief. Snapping out of his funk, Drew strode forward, determined to stop them before somebody got hurt. The thing must weigh 40 pounds.
"Let me do that,"
he said, elbowing them out of the way.
"One of you has a baby to consider, and you, Miss Andrews, ought to know better."
The spark of surprise and irritation in Beth's eyes made him want to grin.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?